Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Isha Rajput. For those who are new, I talk about law of assumption and manifestation. So if you are interested in these, stick around and I would love to have you here. As you all know that I have shared a lot of manifestation techniques and I have talked for 20 or 30 videos about law of assumption and how the manifestation works, but now I want you guys to apply it. So here I am officially bringing a 21 days challenge for you guys so that you can do it with me, and I will tell you that in a sequence in a moment, but I want you to commit fully for whatever you want in your life to come true to you. So commit yourself fully and brace yourself, and just for 21 days do what I say. So what is this 21-day challenge? So starting off right now, I will be telling you few steps that you have to follow for next 21 days. Okay, the first 3 steps you don't have to do it because you'll be just sorting some clarity for your desires and manifestations. So here goes the first step. First step is be clear what you want to manifest. So the first step of this 21 days challenge starting off today is be clear what do you want, whether it is money, job, love partner, whether you want to travel anywhere, you want a car, you want harmony with your family or develop understanding with your parents, better self-concept. So these are the things that I could think of. So I thought I would be able to cover all the topics and these things. So if you want anything which belongs to one of these topics, just pick one of these. Like if you want money, so you should be clear that you want money and you should know what you will be doing once you will manifest that money. So like if you want a love partner, so you should be clear that you want a specific person as your love partner. Whom do you want to manifest as your spouse or your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend? So be clear on that. And if you want better self-concept, so you should also be clear like what are the things that you want to change about yourself. For example, I was not very good with my self concept. I used to think that I'm not worth it of anything. I used to think that I'm a geek. I used to think like I cannot pull off anything. I cannot do anything. Anything which I'll start is doomed to fail. Anything which I'll do is I'll just leave it in half and walk away and give up. But if you want better self concept, then you should be clear like what are the things that you want to change. Like suppose you feel like you're not worth it, then you should know that this is the thing that you want to change. You want to feel worthy for everything. You want to feel worthy. Okay, so you should be clear like this is the self concept where I want, this is the self concept that I want to develop. So you need to be clear that what do you want? Suppose it's a car or you want to travel to a specific place. So you should be clear, like crystal clear that you want it. Okay, so be clear and keep that clarity in your mind for next 21 days. Okay, no doubts, no regrets, no wishes, just the clarity that you want to manifest it. Crystal clear clarity. So the next step of this 21 days challenge is form a mental image of your desire coming true. Okay, so what I mean here is suppose you want your love partner. Okay, suppose you want a specific person to be your love partner. So what is the end result of you being in the relationship with that person? What is the end result? The end result is that you are happily in a relationship or married or being with that person. Okay, so if you want to marry them, then it would be just it would be symbolized by this ring finger. So all you can do is buy a ring, okay, and put it on this ring finger, and then you just imagine that this ring finger is just symbolizing the fact It is determining the fact that you are already in a relationship, you are already engaged to your love partner. Okay, so you just wear this 24/7 on your ring finger, dignifying that you are already with that person and feeling satisfied. Okay, you have to feel that. Okay, feeling satisfied. Oh, I don't have to worry about anything because I have the person and I'm already engaged to them. And you have to wear it and feel it for 21 days. Okay, and just even if it takes more than 21 days, do not take it off, because sometimes human beings are a little complicated. Okay, so if your person is not ready to be with you, so they will not come. But if they are ready, so it might happen that they will come to you in 2 days also. I'm not putting any limiting beliefs on you. Or if you want like money, okay, suppose you want money and you want 1 lakh rupees. So what is the end result of you having that money? That your bank balance is actually flashing those numbers that you want to see in your bank account. Okay, suppose you have 2,000 rupees but you want 1 lakh rupees in your account. So whenever you check the account, all you have to do is imagine that instead of 2,000 rupees, it is flashing 1 lakh rupees, 1 and 5 zeros. Okay, so you have to imagine that, or you can do is edit your screenshot of your bank balance and put a number, edit it and write down that number that you want to manifest. But make sure that whatever the amount you are trying to manifest, you should not have resistance in you. Okay, it's not like I'm telling you to manifest the amount that you desire and you're telling that I want to manifest 1 crore rupees, but inside you still don't believe that you can manifest 1 lakh rupees or 1 crore rupees. Start with something small in which you don't have any resistance. For example, 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees, because you won't be having resistance for that, because you know how does it feel to have 10 or 20,000 rupees. So start small. And if you want to manifest a job, so what would be the end result of you manifesting that job? Like shaking hands with somebody who is hiring the professionals for that specific post. So so you have to form a mental image of all the things that you want to manifest, the desired end, and you have to think from that end. Okay, just sit down and form a mental image prior to manifestations. Okay, just sit down and form a mental image. Okay, because this is the mental image we are going to follow for 21 days. So be careful with it and try to be clear and visualize it as detail as possible, so it would be easy for you to stick with it for next 21 days. Before forming any mental image, you should keep a point in your mind that you should have a physical sensation, like a feeling of actually having that desire coming true. For example, you want money, right? So when you pick up a bundle of notes, so how does it feel for you? You feel the freshness of the currency, you feel the freshness of the currency notes, you feel the weight of the currency notes. Okay, so you should be able to feel that. What you can do here is, if you want money, so you can just count imaginary notes in your visualization. Please do it in your alone time. Don't do it in front of anyone, because people will not understand what you are trying to do. So just do it by yourself and just count your imaginary notes. Okay, for money. And for if you want to travel, okay, if you want to travel, so what you can do is, wherever you want to travel, go online and search some places of the place where you want to visit, and search few things and just try to figure out how would it actually feel. Suppose you want to go on a beach area, so just try to have this feeling how it would feel if you will stand on the beach sand. Okay, and how would the sea water would feel to you, how the breeze will blow your hair, how you will eat there, how will you travel there, like things like these. You should have the physical sensation of these things. That is what will make your imagination or visualization so clear that you will actually feel it. Suppose you want a new handbag, your designer bag. So when you see an object, you sometimes know how does it feel. Okay, you can feel its touch without even touching it. Okay, you can feel its hold without even actually holding it in your hand. So that is what I'm trying to say. Like, if you want anything, just try to have a physical feeling of that desire. Okay, just try to have that physical feeling. If you want an object, just in your imagination, just touch the thin air and try to feel as if you are already touching that object. That is what I am trying to tell you, and that is what is true manifestation is about. It's not about just sitting and visualization, it's all about feeling as well. Okay, feeling is such a strong power which can change your world, which can change your life. Now the next step is, from where our 21 days challenge start, is you have to do your manifestation routine twice a day. Okay, now you are clear what do you want. Okay, you are clear with the thought that what do you want, you have known your desire, and now you have the mental picture, or say the mental drama, that what would be the desired end, as if your dream has come true. So you have the final image as well, and you have the feeling also. You know what it would feel like, okay, of actually holding that object or actually traveling there, you know. So you have the feeling and you have the mental image. Now you have to repeat those two things with this clarity for twice a day. Okay, so what do you have to do? When you wake up in the morning, as soon as you wake up, your mind is still asleep. Okay, it's not like your mind is so powerful at that time that whatever you will tell yourself at that time, your brain just gets imprinted with that thought, which you will carry on with you for rest of the day. So at that time, you should just sit down gracefully and just manifest, just visualize your manifestation, the routine which you formed here, the mental image which you formed here, the desired end, with this feeling in the morning as soon as you wake up. First thing is this. And the last thing is, like, before you go to bed, the last thing you should do, like you're already in your bed, and before falling asleep, you have to play that picture again and again in your mind with this feeling. Okay, you have to play that again before your bedtime, and you just have to fall asleep while visualizing that mental image and that feeling. You have to fall asleep in that state. It's okay, sometimes in the beginning it's very difficult for people to anchor their thought on one thought before they go to sleep. It can be little difficult, but there is another day every day, so you can try it the next day. So you have to do it twice, and I'll show you two important facts which you have to take care of while doing this manifestation twice a day. So the first fact here is, bring your attention back to your desire. Okay, so what happens is, we are not used to of concentrating on one thought. Human mind tends to fly off from one thought to another, and we are not able to concentrate on one thought. And when we try to do that, we end up getting frustrated because our mind is not trained to focus on one thought. So you have to do this mental exercise of just shifting again and again your focus back to that desired end image. Okay, so this is the exercise that you have to do. You have to bring back your attention to your desire coming true, to that mental image that you have formed prior to manifestation. So this is what you're supposed to do, and here I will be sharing a little context of Neville Goddard's book, that is Awakened Imagination, in which he talks about how you should bring back your attention again and again back to the same thought. So it goes like, immobilize your outer physical self. Okay, so you have to literally just shut down all the doors to your outer physical self Act precisely as though you were going to take a nap and start the predetermined action in imagination. So what you have to do is, like, before going to sleep, you relax yourself, okay? Your body just loosen up and you just feel relaxed and calm, okay? So, and after that, you can start that predetermined action of imagination. So, a vivid representation of the action is the beginning of that action. Then, as you are falling asleep, consciously imagine yourself into the scene. So what you have to do is, when you start to fall asleep, okay, so this is the point, this is a very important point which I wanted to share with you guys. What you have to do is, as soon as you know that you're going to fall asleep, you have to consciously imagine yourself into that scene. That is what we are talking about. We mentioned it here before. That is the mental image that we formed prior, okay, that we formed earlier. We have to imagine ourselves into that scene. The length of the length of the sleep is not important. A short nap is sufficient, but carrying the action into sleep thickens fancy into fact. So he says that it is not important that you should only be doing it for an 8-hour sleeps. No, it's 8 hours sleep. No, it's not important. You can even do it for a 20 minutes nap, or your afternoon nap, or any time whenever you are about to take a nap. You can do it that time as well. So he says that at first your thoughts may be like a rambling sheep that have no shepherd. So he has taken a metaphor in which he says that if the sheeps are not mentored by a shepherd, they move randomly. They don't know in which direction they have to move. Okay, so they move here and there. They don't stop at one position. I mean to say, at one stop or one destination. So he says that at first your thoughts will ramble. Okay, you will not be able to anchor your thought at one place. So don't despair, don't lose hope. Should your attention stray 70 times 7, bring it back 70 times 7 to its predetermined course, until from sheer exhaustion it follows the appointed path. So he says that 70 times 7 is like, even if your thought is just, even if you're jumping from one thought to another thought infinite times, all you have to do is force your imagination to get back to that thought again and again until your mind gets tired. Until your mind gets tired of shifting to other thought, and it is forced to follow the appointed path. So you have to do this mental exercise. Okay, it was very difficult for me because I was never trained to concentrate on one thought, so I had to figure it out for myself. So the inner journey must never be without direction. So what he says that you have to direct your thoughts. You have to direct your thoughts, and then you have to just dwell upon that imagination. You have to just force yourself, just drill that image into your mind again and again until and unless it becomes a natural form or natural thought for your mind. And you have to do that before you are about to fall asleep. And you know when you are about to fall asleep, so you know when is the right time to start doing it. Okay, so, and the next thing you have to do is fall asleep in that state. Okay, and after that, once your mind has chosen the appointed path, now your mind cannot be rambling in different thoughts. Now you are anchored on one thought. Now you should fall asleep in that state. Okay, so that is the third step. Okay, the next is immerse fully. And the last step of this 21 days challenge is to immerse yourself fully. So what do I mean by that here is, I will explain you with the help of a story in the book of Neville Goddard, that is Awakened Imagination. So just brace yourself and listen to this beautiful story of a blind woman. So what happened is, like, he tells us, A year ago, a blind girl living in the city of San Francisco found herself confronted with a transportation problem. Rerouting of buses forced her to make 3 transfers between her home and her office. This lengthened her trip from 15 minutes to 2 hours and 15 minutes. So what happened is a blind girl, she had a problem in transportation. Earlier she used to travel for 15 minutes to her destination, but now it was like 2 hours and 15 minutes. So the trip was lengthened, and she thought seriously about this problem and came to this decision that a car was the solution. So but she was blind and she knew that she could not drive a car, but felt that she could be driven in one. So she thought that she won't be able to drive a car because she was a blind person, but she thought that she could be driven in one. So putting this theory to the test, that whenever the actions of the inner self correspond to the actions which the outer physical self must take to appease desire, that desire will be realized. She said to herself, I will sit here and imagine that I am being driven to my office. So what she used to do is, sitting in her living room, she began to imagine herself seated in a car. She felt the rhythm of motor. She imagined that she smelled the odor of gasoline, felt the motion of the car, touched the sleeve of the driver and felt that the driver was a man. She felt the car stop and, turning to her companion, said, Thank you very much, sir. To which he replied, The pleasure is all mine. Then she stepped from the car and heard the door snap shut as she closed it. So this is all the imagination that she used to do. Now I want you to focus on the things that she focused on. Okay, so the first thing she focused on is she imagined she felt the rhythm of the motor. So first thing she felt physically, like the sensual feeling, was the rhythm of the motor. When you sit in a car, the car vibrates a little bit, so there was a rhythm of the motor that she was feeling. And the second thing is she smelled. Okay, so first is feeling, then is smelled the odor of gasoline and felt the motion of car. And next is touch. She touched the sleeve of the driver and felt that the driver was a man. Now she spoke also. She also said that she was also speaking, so she said that, Thank you very much, sir. So what are the senses involved in her imagination? First is the feeling. Okay, second is smelling, third is touching, and fourth is speaking or having a conversation in your imagination. So these are the 4 things which were involved in her visualization that made her visualization so real for her mind that it actually become true for her in her reality. So so she centered, now this paragraph here is all about how she centered her imagination around that thought. And what happened is, on 2 successive days, after 2 days, the blind girl took her imaginary ride, giving it all the joy and sensory vividness of reality. So she carried on this thing for 2 days, and after 2 days, a few hours after her second imaginary ride, like she imagined it for the first day and for the second day, and when she was over with her second imagination, after a few hours, she got a call from her friend, that a friend told her of a story in the evening paper, and it was a story of a man who was interested in the blind. Okay, so it was a story of a man who was interested in the blind, and the blind girl phoned him and stated her problem. The very next day, on his way home, the man who was in the paper, he stopped at the bar, and while there had the urge to tell the story of the blind girl to his friend, the proprietor. So what that man did is, he stood at a bar and there he talked to his friend about a blind girl, and a total stranger, on hearing the story, volunteered to drive the blind girl home every day. The man who told the story then said, If you will take her home, I will take her to work. So what happened is, as soon as that man told about that blind girl to the proprietor, that is his friend, he said that if you will take her home every evening, then I will take her to work. And this was an year ago, and since that day, the blind girl has been driven to and from her office by these two gentlemen. Now, instead of spending 2 hours and 15 minutes on 3 buses, she is at her office in less than 15 minutes. And on that first ride to her office, she turned to her good Samaritan. I don't know how to pronounce this word, Samaritan, and said, "Thank you very much, sir." And he replied, "The pleasure is all mine." So these are the words which she was practicing in her imagination, and this is what exactly that person responded. Because she had immersed herself fully, she involved all her senses in that visualization, so she did not left any doubt or any space for not getting it for not making it real for herself. So she immersed herself fully by involving all her senses, by all her receptors in that imagination, so that it becomes real for her. So this is what you are supposed to do for like 21 days. Who knows, if you immerse yourself fully for 2 days even also, the next very third day may your manifestation may come true. So who knows, I'm not limiting your beliefs. It is just the intensity, the faith, the intensity, the degree of faith with which you try to manifest your desires. So do this for 21 days. After 21 days, you can just come back and tell me about your manifestation stories. But do keep all these points in your mind. So be ready to manifest the desires that you want. And within 21 days, I am getting ready to hear a lot of success stories. And I will see you after 21 days. That's all for today, and it was so good, and I'm bracing myself for a lot of success stories. So don't disappoint me and start this manifestation challenge right now, today, this instant. Okay, that's all for today, and I'll see you in the next episode.